What's going on, everybody? This is B. Scott.
G.O.D. You're talking to a god right now. In the third wheel.
And this is the first four downs. Let's get it. All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the first four downs. Week 7's in the books. We're looking at week 8. We're going to be looking at the matchups. This week, we got a couple big buys, actually. Dallas and Baltimore. So you're going to be needing to play certain players in some tough matchups. So first matchup we're going to look at is going to be Denver Broncos on the road against the Colts. You got any starts or anybody you like in this game that you want to play?
I don't know, man. That Denver Indy game is like a tough one to call for me. I'm gonna take the Colts in this one. Denver's offensive line is just terrible, and Kansas City exposed that with stationary Flacco just staying in the pocket. He never moves out of the pocket. And you look at the Colts front seven with Darius Leonard in there. I think Indy got that all day long. There's not a lot of people that I was starting this game as far as like on Denver side of it, especially running the ball. I don't even think Royce Freeman to be that good, especially with like the production he's been getting. But I don't know, Leonard out over there. You know what I'm saying? That their defense is pretty solid.
Yeah, you know what? In this game, obviously I like Marlon Mack. I think if the Colts are going to be able to put anything on the board, it's going to be running the football. The secondary of the Broncos is pretty solid. So, I mean, I'm hard-pressed to start Brissett this week, even though he's been pretty solid. They are at home, so, I mean, I'm looking for a better quarterback option, so I'm definitely sitting Brissett. Even T.Y. is a tough matchup for me against Chris Harris. I look back at the history, and he really hasn't produced against the Denver Broncos. He has 0 touchdowns in, I want to say, 4 games against the Denver Broncos. Yeah. So I'm sitting that guy, and then, like you said, I'm sitting the running backs for the Broncos. I'm just worried about them being able to produce enough in this game.
And you know what's crazy? You would think that the only people that would produce in this game is the running backs because of the loss of Emmanuel Sanders. So, you know, Deshaun Hamilton is a good slot receiver. You know, he showed that at the end of the season last year. But I don't know how they're going to work. I don't know if him and Flacco has rapport or, you know, could they actually get it done with just Courtland Sutton? You know what I mean?
I think Sutton you could start Sutton in your flex if you got to, you know. I think it's not that bad of a matchup. So for me, Sutton and Mack would be the only starts really that I'm looking at in this game. And this game's going to be hard pressed to call. You never know what's going to happen. Yeah. You got 2 solid teams, you know, defensively, but the offense is, you know, you never know what you're going to get on a weekly basis. So next matchup we look at, Tampa Bay at Tennessee. This matchup is it's kind of weird because Jameis is coming out of the bye. 5 interceptions last week. Really got exposed. And, you know, Jameis has played good out of the bye, but Tennessee at home, that defense has been solid all year. And they switched to Ryan Tannehill, and he can make the throws. I think he's more accurate, and it's going to help that passing attack. Tampa's defense against the running backs has been no joke this year, honestly. They've been really good against the running back, but their secondary worse in the league. So I could see Tannehill having a pretty solid game, and those pass catchers on that side of the ball, Corey Davis especially, the rest of the season, I think it definitely got a guy that you can flex all week, possible wide receiver too. But what about you? Who you like in this game?
I think, you know, Jameis Winston does throw a lot of touchdowns, and he throws a lot of interceptions as well. Like you said, five last week. The thing about it is they don't have a good running game. So that Tennessee Titans front could be all good all they want to. They're going to have to guard Mike Evans, Godwin, Cameron Brate. Now that we know that O.J. Howard is out, I think it's a potential for a high-scoring game. I really do. It could limit because, you know, when James get under pressure, he collapses a little bit and just throw a wild ball. So you can see the interceptions there. He's definitely a sit for me. But I would still probably start Mike Evans, Godwin, Cameron Brate, because Tennessee is not that great against the tight end at all. So I think they'll find those seams and be able to at least get on the board. You know what I'm saying? A couple scores.
Yeah, I think Tampa could put up points. I like Tennessee in this game at home, even though I think Tampa could put up some points. But I think Tannehill could have a possibly really good day. 300 plus, couple touchdowns. Yeah. I mean, definitely could be a viable start this week. So next matchup, we're going to look at Arizona on the road against New Orleans Saints. And I'm hard-pressed to start anybody on the Cardinal side of the ball. The only, you know, you look at David Johnson. He's missed practice all week. I think he's going to miss the game. They're calling it a game-time call. I don't think they do like they did last week. I think he's going to sit. They signed running back. Chase Edmonds is probably the only guy I could start on the Arizona Cardinals side. And the Saints, I'm firing up everybody. I mean, any stud that's on the offense, even Jared Cook possibly. if he's playing. He's questionable right now. So if Jared Cook's playing against the worst team in the league against Titan. So who you like?
Yeah, Chase Edmonds, I would have to start him regardless. Right now he has 4 rushing touchdowns and a receiving touchdown, and he's averaging 5.6 yards per carry so far. They signed Zach Zenner to the team, so that makes you wonder what's going on with DJ. I mean, even if they had DJ, though, I don't see them having a real good chance against New Orleans at home. I don't. I'm sorry. That defense is too good. You know what I mean? And Kyler Murray is still very young and inconsistent. I don't think that up-tempo type offense is going to play in this game at all.
Yeah, I think so, too. I think Fitz possibly could play pretty well. I know New Orleans Saints have been pretty bad against slot receivers, this year. So I think Fitz could have a viable game, but Fitz has been running all over the field, so you don't know where he's going to come out of. Last year he played predominantly out of the slot, but this year, they're moving him all around. So
yeah, and also you definitely have to worry about game time decision for Alvin Kamara. I think he did practice today or something like that, and they're calling it a true game time. But Latavius Murray is still startable against the Bills.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Latavius Murray, he studded out last week, did his thing. So, if Kamara even plays, which I doubt, they're going to a bye, Arizona, they're at home. I mean, everything points to them sitting their studs anyway. If they're that banged up, they got a bye next week. So, definitely rolling those guys out. New Orleans all day at home. They're going to eat up the Cardinals. Yeah. But next matchup, we got Cincy on the road against the Rams. I mean, I'm hard-pressed to even talk about this matchup.
That's funny. All I wrote was really.
Yeah, really. I can't start any Cincinnati player. It's just impossible for me. The Rams defense only got better with Jalen Ramsey. I mean, one guy that can pretty much shadow your number one receiver changes the entire way you can run your defense.
Yeah.
So,
just like we said in the last vid, if you listen, those 2 cornerbacks, Aqib Talib giving up hella ass. Both him and Marcus Peters stationary on both sides. Nobody could shadow. And like we said, McVay found a way to do it. You know what I mean? He goes, trades for Jalen Ramsey. Excellent pickup for them. Cincy finna get smoked in this game. They're 13. I think they're 13-point favorite in this game. Come on, man. It's over. I think they get up really fast and just run the ball out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think Gurley has a huge day. Cincy, the worst team in the league against the rush. Gurley should have a pretty solid day, and I really, Henderson might even be a viable flex guy this week, just because based on volume, if the game script.
And Malcolm Brown is out.
Yeah, so you could see Darrell Henderson even getting some run. Wide receivers, I'm starting all of them. I'm hard-pressed to start the tight end position, but.
Well, since he does guard the pass game pretty well.
Yeah, they're not bad.
They got 2 good safeties back there, so that could be tough for Goff, but, I mean, Gerald Everett. If you have him, I would start him all day too.
Yeah, I'm starting Cooper Kupp. He's had two back-to-back tough games, but they played the Niners. Come on,
and last
week they were blowing out the Falcons. They didn't even have to pass the ball. So, that game it's just gonna be an ugly show over there. I'd be shocked if Cincy even put up 14 points, but we'll see how it goes. Next matchup we're looking at is the Jets at the Jaguars, and this to me is a little bit tougher call. Also, because as bad as the Jets played last week, they still can play well. I really do think so. Darnold had a bad day playing the Patriots, man. Come on. And it's pretty much his second game of the season. And he's still recovering from mono. So he threw up the 4 interceptions. But against Jacksonville, I'm starting the running backs on both sides. You're not sitting Bell. It's impossible. I'm starting Fournette against the Jets. They're still missing C.J. Mosley on that inside. So. And I want to say the Jets giving up the most rushing touchdowns on the season, or close to it. I think they have 8 or 9 rushing touchdowns they've given up. You look at last week, they gave up 3 to Sony Michel, but still 8 rushing touchdowns. And then, I'm sitting the Jets offenses in Sam Darnold. Can't start him against the Jags. Jaguars defense, even after trading Ramsey, has been pretty good playing without him, and they're at home. So. I got Jacksonville in that game.
Yeah, I think you hit on that. I don't know if you want to. Jameson Crowder is somebody that Darnold and the quarterback before him has been hitting pretty heavily. He's getting a ton of volume. Maybe he hits him. I don't know if AJ Bouye is going to be on him or not. But, is Herndon playing?
Questionable, but possibly. If Herndon plays, I'm starting him. I mean, the tight end position is so thin that if he's out there and if he's available, I'm possibly starting him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a pretty solid, viable blanket, especially for Sam Darnold. You saw it last year. So, You like Jacksonville too in this game?
Yeah, I got Jacksonville.
All right, next matchup, we got the Giants on the road against the Detroit Lions. And this one, I mean, Danny Dimes, since his Week 3 blowout, has really looked terrible. He hasn't looked that good. He hasn't played very good. And back-to-back weeks against teams that he should have played well against, he just hasn't. And last week, Arizona Cardinals, he did not look good at all in that game. So I'm hard-pressed to start anybody on the Giants side of the ball outside of Saquon Barkley. And I think Saquon Barkley destroys this game because the Detroit Lions are not that good against the running back position. So pass catcher and rushing the football. So Saquon's an easy start. It's impossible. Evan Ingram, like I said, same thing with the tight end position. You got to start him. I mean, it's just weak. But other than that, on the other side of the ball, I'm starting almost all the Lions. Stafford has put up some numbers. You saw last week with all the touchdowns to Marvin Jones Jr., which is a shocker, right? His one blowout game that he's going to have on the year. But yeah, I'm starting Galladay. And huge news with the Kerryon Johnson injury. We got Ty Johnson.
Yeah.
That's going to be filling in.
Yeah, Ty Johnson. Well, we've only seen a small sample size of him, 4.10 with the 4.4 speed. But with this could be a committee situation. They got McKissick back there, and Darrell Bevell's system, they run the football. We don't know what they're going to get with that. You know what I mean? The Giants are middle of the pack against the rush. And the Giants' offense is at full strength right now. They got Evan Ingram back, Golden Tate, Sterling Shepard. I think the Giants are going to control this football game with Saquon Barkley running the football. You got to remember, too, that Detroit's just lost one of their defensive captains in Quandre Diggs. So I think this is a shootout potential, and I'm taking the Giants. Vegas has it 50 over under. I'm taking the Giants on the road.
I just can't do it. I mean, Daniel Jones has looked so bad. The only way they win the football game is Saquon Barkley putting the team on his back and carrying them to the W.
And I'm telling you,
that's the only way. And he can do it.
I think they finna eat.
He can do it. I'm hard pressed for it. I mean, the Detroit Lions secondary has been pretty solid on the year, so I'm hard pressed for it. I'm taking the Lions at home, but you can have that Giants. It's upset. I see it. I can see it. So the next matchup, we got the Chargers on the road against the Bears. And this is one game where there's almost nobody to start. I mean, you're going to start Austin Eckler just because of the volume and the consistency that he's had. I can't start Melvin Gordon against the Bears. They're I want to say, one of the top 3 against the rush. So, and Melvin Gordon is still getting acclimated. You already see it.
Yeah.
So, in this game on the Chargers side of the ball, I'm starting Austin Eckler and I'm starting Hunter Henry. I mean, he's the safest bet. The Bears have given up, they said, the 10th most fantasy points to the tight end position, which is still not great, but not bad. And Hunter Henry's been solid 2 straight weeks. And then you got to look at the injuries. Keenan Allen, late addition with a hamstring in the week, did not practice on Friday. So they said if he's going to play, it will be a game time call. So I don't see him playing in this game. And if he does, he's not. They already said he'll be on limited snaps. So increased snap share for Mike Williams, maybe, but even then, Mike Williams hasn't proven to take care of the ball. You know what I mean? Like, take his role. So, and then on the other side of the ball, the Bears have looked atrocious on offense. I can't trust anybody, not one person, even against a Chargers defense that has really struggled.
Yeah.
So, Bears defense, starting them, Eckler starting them, Hunter Henry, that's it in this game for me.
It's a tough game to call. You have a Super Bowl contending team that's been like decimated with injuries. You know what I mean? And most recently with Pouncey, the center. We saw a couple of weeks ago that Pittsburgh came in there and destroyed that offensive line. They could not stop anybody. So if you think about the Chicago Bears and their front seven, that's a completely different monster, man. And knowing that they're struggling like that, I'm telling you, I think the Bears are going to eat them alive.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
Montgomery should see. I want to put Montgomery on the starts, man, but I just can't because you never know what's going to happen. Tariq Cohen maybe, but even then you don't know what you're going to get out of any of those players.
Tariq Cohen had 12 targets last week. You know what I'm saying?
9 catches for 19 yards.
Yeah, it's crazy. So
that's terrible.
They're trying to acclimate him back into the offense. You know what I mean? You seen last year where they started hitting Tariq Cohen, then the offense picked up and it made it easier for Trubisky. I think they could do that here in this game because he ain't going to have Casey Hayward on him. You know what I'm saying? Casey Hayward, he should be on
Allen Robinson.
It's a good game for
Anthony Miller, but he hasn't done anything yet.
It's a good matchup situation for Anthony Miller. I don't know about this. The Chicago's like a 3.5 point favorite.
I'd take Chicago.
Yeah,
Bears at home. But like I said, hard pressed to start any fantasy relevant guys except Eckler, Hunter Henry, tight end position, like I said, and the Chicago Bears defense. I can't start any offense for the Bears.
Yeah.
So next matchup, we got Philly on the road against Buffalo. Most of these matchups are tough. I mean, you're looking at Philly, who's kind of reeling, just got beat down by the Dallas Cowboys, going into Buffalo against top 5 defense. So Buffalo's offense isn't that great, don't get me wrong. Josh Allen can make plays with his legs, and the secondary of the Eagles has been horrible.
Yeah.
So I think this game could be pretty decent for Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. And Philly, you never know what team is going to show up on a weekly basis. I mean, Carson Wentz last week, 2 sacks and a fumble, or 2 interceptions and a fumble, something like that. He really struggled against the Dallas Cowboys defense. I get it, was at home, and I think they were coming out of a bye, so they were ready. But
man, them fans burning his jersey already.
I'm telling you. So in this game, I'm realistically starting John Brown.
Yeah, John Brown.
Because of secondary. And then Josh Allen, in my opinion, is a possible start. Depending. He'll probably finish inside the top 12 to 15 at quarterbacks, I think, regardless. Philly's front 7 is good. They're going to get after him, but Josh Allen makes plays with his legs, so he might end up with 60, 70 rushing yards.
That's what I'm saying. There might be a lot of deep bombs in this one. Darwin Knox might be a sleeper in this game as well, because they have to respect the speed of John Brown, obviously. For Philly, though, I'm not quite sure. Maybe Alshon Jeffrey could get in the score there. But that defense is no joke. You know what I'm saying? They're pretty good. So
they've given up 4 passing touchdowns.
It's crazy. I want to take Philly in this game, but I don't even know if I can.
I'm in the same boat. I got Philly, and I'm sitting Wentz even, but I got Philly winning the game. I don't know how. It's like I just think Philly's going to find a way to win the football game.
All right, I'm taking Buffalo.
All right. So next matchup, we got Seattle against Atlanta. And this game, on paper, should be a pretty high-scoring affair. I mean, both defenses haven't been great. Seattle's been, better, and Atlanta's been horrible. So I'm firing up all offenses in this game, but you got to worry about Matt Ryan's health. I mean, he came into the day questionable. He practiced today, and they said on Saturday they'll let us know, if he's going to be starting or not. But if he doesn't start, can you trust anybody on the Atlanta Falcons offense? I mean, with Matt Schaub?
No.
Even Julio Jones, I'm hard pressed.
No.
So
especially not Devontae Freeman.
Devontae Freeman's been on our sits every week in the entire season.
He's an all-sit team player. But yeah, Seattle, man, they're 7-point favorite in this game, and their defense gets better. You know what I mean? I think they finally got Jerron Reed back for that pass rush, and like I just said, they added Quandre Diggs as a safety back there to try to plug up that. You know what I mean? So, man, Seattle's going to destroy them.
Yes.
Even if Matt Ryan plays, I just don't see too much hope for them at home this week. You know what I mean? Julio Jones is Julio Jones. Not too many people is going to guard him. He might have a 100-yard game, but I think ultimately Chris Carson, they'll be able to run through that defense, and then just the same old do what they do with Tyler Lockett. You know what I'm saying? And DK, it'd probably be a big game for DK Metcalf. I would start him.
Yeah, I got DK on the starts for sure. Lockett is a no-brainer. Even with the low targets, he's still producing. My problem with the Atlanta Falcons is you never know what team's going to show up. I mean, there's so many times where it comes out and all of a sudden they just walk down the field and score touchdowns.
Yeah. And
then there's games where they come out and they're in the hole by 14, 21 points. And it's like, I don't get them, but I'm hard pressed to take them. It might be the end of the road for Dan Quinn. Matt Ryan's really trying to get out there to play for him. So
that big streak.
If Matt
154 consecutive games.
Maybe he pulls like a Brett Favre, comes out for the one snap and then he leaves. Remember that?
I'll do it.
I'm telling you. But anyway, all right. So that game I got Seattle all day. The next matchup, Carolina and San Francisco. Now this game is very interesting for the fact that San Francisco's defense is no joke. I mean, unbelievable. Best in the league. and they run the football. I want to say first in the league. And they're at home. And the only person I can trust on Carolina is Christian McCaffrey. You cannot sit him. I'm sorry. Even in a ridiculous matchup where he may have 20 carries for 50 yards, but you can't, just for that one chance, you can't sit Christian McCaffrey.
Other than that defense is too fast, man. And
it's ridiculous.
We've seen even Tampa's front is the only team that stopped CMC so far this year. San Francisco's defense is too fast. I don't think he produces that much. Now you can't sit him, of course, a top 3 pick this year, but yeah, I don't know about this game script wise. I think Carolina edges out a win.
If they did, I would be highly shocked because, I mean, the way the Niners defense is played, they pretty much shut everyone out completely. All together. Everybody. Even the Rams. Look at the Rams. They whooped them 2 weeks ago. Last week you played the Redskins. I get it. And that game was, I mean, come on, man. The guys were sliding around on the field. It was so wet.
I just worry about San Francisco's offense. You know what I mean? With Jimmy Garoppolo back there. What are we going to see?
Well,
you know
here's
what I mean?
the thing.
Like,
they added Emmanuel Sanders. They traded for him from the Denver Broncos.
That is very true.
So I think that helps their offense a lot. They've lacked a solid wide receiver.
Yeah, I changed my mind. I'm going to take the Niners.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like they've lacked a true solid veteran wide receiver presence in that offense. So I think Emmanuel Sanders sews that up. Now, this week it may not be a huge deal, but I think it helps them down the road. Yeah, I'm taking the Niners all day, plain and simple. I'm starting the running backs. I like Coleman. I like Breida, and the Niners D.
Yeah, you might be sitting like Curtis Samuel or Greg Olsen. If you have Greg Olsen on your team, yeah, you're probably not starting him here. Obviously, for the Niners, you're starting Kittle. Firing up Breida, Tevin Coleman, and San Francisco defense.
Yep. And I got San Francisco winning the game. Yeah. So next matchup, we got Cleveland Browns on the road against the New England Patriots. I mean, is there much to talk about? Patriots, one or two on defense. Same, they're right there with the Niners. They're balanced on offense. And the Browns, I mean, come on, Baker Mayfield. I just looked today, 5 touchdowns, 11 interceptions on the season. That's horrible, man. And it's not gonna happen this week against a New England Patriots defense that has been lights out. So I'm sitting everybody outside of Chubb. Is the only chance the Browns have of getting some points in this game.
You don't like Odell?
I don't, because Stephon Gilmore's been that good. And don't get me wrong, Odell's out-caught, just made such amazing catches with his hands that it don't even matter who's on him. You know what I'm saying? Depending on the throws. I just don't see it. I mean, here's the deal. I'm hard-pressed. If you got to start Odell, I get it. You know what I mean? But I see him as a wide receiver in the 20s maybe, this week. But outside of that, the other side of the ball, I'm starting Tom Brady. I like Sony Michel in this game. I think he has a chance to find the end zone once again. He's got 7 touchdowns on the year. And
they got Mohamed Sanu now. I'm very curious to see how that works and what role he's going to play in that. Is he going to play the Josh Gordon role, or is he going to play, just that number 2 kind of guy? Dorsett should be somebody that who can almost be flexible in this game.
Yeah, I like Dorsett a lot in this game too. I think even on the limited targets, he's going to be there. I like Sanu, but I don't think he's going to be pushed as hard pressed into the offense as Antonio Brown was, because I think Antonio Brown is just a beast. Antonio Brown. That's why he was pressed. A lot of receivers struggle in this offense to learn it, and it takes a lot of time. Josh Gordon, same. Antonio Brown was forced the ball, but it's Antonio Brown. I mean, the guy's a monster. Mohamed Sanu ain't Antonio Brown, so I don't see a lot of production from Mohamed Sanu this week. Maybe he gets a red zone target. Maybe he gets a few targets here and there. I think a snap share is going to be low, so he's not a viable option. But Edelman in this game all day, and Dorsett especially. New England, easy win, right?
Yeah.
All right, so now we go to Oakland and Houston. Oakland Raiders, they've been playing some pretty damn good football, even though they got blown out by the Green Bay Packers last week. So now they're on the road against Houston Texans, and a team that offensively has some huge firepower. And the secondary of the Raiders, after you saw what they did last week, Green Bay Packers, come on, man, Aaron Rodgers, 5 touchdowns. I could see this game being very high scoring. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, Vegas has the over and under 51.5. It's crazy, you know what I mean? Oakland is top 10 in rush attempts behind Josh Jacobs this year, which is pretty good. You know what I'm saying? He's doing very well. But Houston is top 5 against the rush. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to have to throw the ball in this one. And with Tyrell Williams nursing his plantar fasciitis.
They said he practiced today. He might play. Questionable. He finally got the questionable tag instead of being rolled out. So
yeah, so they're going to have to throw. I like Darren Waller in this game as a start.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? But
top 3 tight end.
But I also like the emergence of Kenny Bills last week. You know what I'm saying? Kenny Stills is like dope in that offense. You know what I mean? Especially if he takes the Will Fuller role. He's way more efficient than Will Fuller on a week-to-week basis. So I think ultimately Houston rolls at home against Oakland.
Yeah, I think so too. But I think Oakland's going to put up a fight. Don't get me wrong. They play efficiently. They don't turn the ball over too much usually. And I think Green Bay Packers are just too much on offense for them. And, you know, whatever else last week.
Houston Texans. Oh.
No, I'm saying last week. So this week, I got the Texans winning the game, I think. But I think Oakland's going to give them a show. I think it should be a pretty good game.
And you got Hopkins looking like he's back.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I think Deshaun Watson's going to tear it up.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
But and my thing with Derek Carr, they got a lot of people saying start Derek Carr this week. He just hasn't been efficient. So, yeah, Houston should roll in this game. But next matchup we're looking at, actually, we got 2 more matchups on the docket. Green Bay Packers on the road against the Chiefs. Now, huge story, Patrick Mahomes. Already practicing. He wants to play. I don't see it. Yeah, they're risking a lot if they're going to plan on starting Patrick Mahomes this week. So, Green Bay, in my opinion, should be the favorites in this game with Patrick Mahomes out, even on the road against a tough Chiefs team. That last week sacked Joe Flacco, 9 times? I don't see that against Aaron Rodgers. They've been running the football. Both these defenses have been terrible against the run. So I could see a lot of running the football. Matt Moore's not going to beat him over the top. It's just not going to happen. So I could see Aaron Jones running all day. Jamal Williams, a viable flex spot. Devontae Adams already ruled out. So who knows with those wide receivers what's going to happen. They're not going to run wild like they did against the Raiders. So I think this is going to be a huge day for Aaron Jones. They should run the football a lot. The Chiefs have already been shown weakness. How to beat them? You run the ball against them, keep them off the field, and play defense. Now they got Matt Moore, and LaShawn McCoy's not going to be able to. Even LaShawn McCoy might see an increase in carries, but I don't see him being effective enough against Green Bay.
Yeah, I got the Packers all day long. Devontae Adams is looking like he's trying to play, but I think he's going to be out regardless. So you look at MVS and Geronimo Allison to take that production. Maybe Jimmy Graham there. Might be a hard game for Travis Kelce.
Yeah, I'm torn on them too. Trust me, I got Hunter Henry and Travis Kelce in my starting lineup right now.
Yeah, and it's also like with Tyreek Hill. You know what I mean? After not having him so many weeks, now you have this matchup against. He'll be against Jair Alexander all game. So yeah, it's gonna be terrible for him. Matt Moore is not a good quarterback, man.
I know. So yeah, I mean. If Patrick Mahomes plays, which I don't think he will, if he does for some magical reason, I still am hard-pressed to change my idea because you've already seen Patrick Mahomes hobbled. He can't make the plays outside the pocket like he normally can. Imagine he's not even going to be able to get outside the pocket if he does play.
Yeah.
So I got the Green Bay Packers in this one for sure. So the last matchup we got, pretty bad one on Monday night.
Yeah.
Miami Dolphins at Pittsburgh. And the Dolphins, man, it's just sad. Ryan Fitzpatrick last week played pretty well against Buffalo defense that's top 5. And as much as I love Preston Williams as a player, I think he's still going to be developing down the road, and he's going to be a solid wide receiver.
Yeah,
come 2-3 years down the road. But this year, it's just hard to play him. Pittsburgh at home, that defense has been pretty solid after the first couple weeks of being bad. So
for me, Preston Williams is one of these guys that you should have on your bench. Period. He has the 10th easiest strength of schedule in the league, and you know what? He just sticks out on the field. He looks really good, and he's getting a ton of volume. I would actually own him because Miami's always going to be playing from behind. You know, they're probably not going to win a game.
No.
In efforts to win a game, Preston Williams is going to see a ton of work. So. He should be owned, but this score is probably going to be like 100-0. That Pittsburgh defense is pretty good, man, and
especially at home.
James Conner is going to run all over them. I think he is playing, so the bye did bode them pretty well. Even with Mason Rudolph at the helm, they're going to destroy the Miami Dolphins on Monday night.
Hey, it's Fitzmagic, man. You never know. I mean, I've seen him. Trust me, I've seen him put up 4 touchdowns against a tough defense. So that's the thing. You never know what's going to happen. But there's no way I'm picking the Miami Dolphins. It's impossible.
Yeah.
So on the Miami Dolphins side of the football, I'm hard-pressed to start anybody, but if I had to, I think Devontae Parker might be a valuable start. He's been pretty solid in producing touchdowns.
Yeah,
I like Preston. I like Preston Williams. And then that Mark Walton guy, I think that's his name. I mean, he's leading the team in rush attempts over the last 3 weeks. So
yeah, but he's a sit this week.
No, I wouldn't start him. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So on the other side of the ball, I'm still hard pressed to start Juju, but if you have to, he's a viable flex option this week against Miami Dolphins. James Conner should be a top 5 play. And you might see Vance McDonald catch a touchdown. So he might fall in the end zone. And I'm starting Pittsburgh defense all day. But outside of that, yeah. We're both on the sides. Pittsburgh just steamrolls
all day long. That about wraps it up for week 8. You know what it is. First word downs. We back.
Call us aggressive intelligence. Hustle my artist and I'm the executive vice of Spine, Connecticut. Come from the block with an etiquette. It's never a lot of the fellowship. We just surviving the elements. But I have my